Today I'm in the parish of Alphington on the outskirts of Exeter. In fact, it's included for most purposes within Exeter now, but originally its own parish. As we come in one of the main gates, we're greeted by a whole carpet of flowers. This part of the churchyard has been allowed to grow as a nature reserve, and it works really well. You can reach the stones. I've got one here in front of me, Charlotte Farley, 1938. Others are not so readable. There's one down here with clear lettering. Let's go down this way. This one to the 4 dearly beloved children of John and Anne Pike. Sydney John, aged 5 months. William Ernest, 2 years 9 months. Frank Percival, 11 months. And Henry James, who lived to be 29. A lot of heartache in that family. The church here at Alphington has stood on the site since 1480. Of course, in that time it's had some extensive repairs, modifications. In the Victorian era, apparently it was close to falling down, but they spent a lot of money and rebuilt it. 1480 is the original date of the building we're looking at, although a church has been on this site since the conquest for 1,000 years. This one to Harriet Toms, 1904, and her husband Frederick Toms, who was a pensioner from the Royal Navy, 1927. This is a war grave from 1916. Lance Corporal W.H. Counter of the Devonshire Regiment. And another one a little distance away. A.E. Macpherson, Chief Stoker, HMS Avonvale, 1947, aged 41. And then the family have added beloved husband of Edith Constance, in God's keeping. In the corner here is a large table tomb, but the inscription is almost completely gone. With careful cleaning you might be able to get a name on it. And here also are 2 table tombs, but again the inscriptions are too weathered. And if I go across to this side of the path, you can see there's another one here. This one to Judith Grubb. Looks like 1865, but I may be wrong on the latter part of that. Age 72. And some more over there. Difficult to reach, and the stones are very weather worn. And nearby, beyond all these wildflowers, 2 more large horizontal tombs, but again sadly without a lot of work. Their inscription will not be readable. And I've moved on around the church, and there's a whole area here with the horizontal style of tombs, much more expensive than the upright memorials. But they don't weather so well, so the inscriptions are not easy to recover. But there's a interesting one here. This is Martha Lewis, the widow of Charles Lewis Esquire, 1865. I think if we move round to this end, we can get Charles Terrell Lewis, 1861. And the inscription here is Charles Lewis. Interesting to see the claw feet. Obviously a very elaborate and expensive memorial. And this one, here lieth the Reverend Richard Ellicombe and Eliza his wife, whose records are described on the ancient slab on the church floor. Well, it's quite a busy churchyard, this part of it. There is a newer part over the road we'll have a look at in a minute. The church itself is having an event today, so I don't think we'll get access inside. And there's quite a lot of machinery and traffic noise on the corner here. This has an interesting inscription. A public mark of gratitude and affection to an old faithful and humble servant. This stone is dedicated to the memory of Mrs. Mary Wills by the family who enjoyed the fruits of her labour 44 years. She died in March 1790. I've come across the road now to the new extension to the cemetery, Alphington Church. One caught my eye over here. This is to Una Vera Burridge, who was a poet, 1903 to 2003. So she was just short of 100 years old when she left us. This area is set aside for those who want a memorial stone but are not buried here, presumably cremated. And I think these are fairly recent because there's just one mass of flowers. And then more of the more recent graves. These are all within the past 20 years. This one to Herbert Lionel Frayne has the badge of the Normandy Veteran Associations, so I'm assuming that is from World War II, the landings. He died in 2018, aged 92 years. The memorial to Kenneth Frederick George, 1983, has the image up here of manual ploughing with horses and the farmer following on behind, the old fashioned style of ploughing. And this is a very touching one. 2 children who died in a fire. Treasured memories of our darling children killed tragically in a fire. Hayley Samantha Hayes. She was 7 years And Daniel Wayne Hayes, he was 2 and a bit, almost 3 years. What a terribly sad story. Beautiful children. Now, although it's 86, it's many years ago now, there are still fresh flowers on this grave. And I've gone further down in the newer section of the graveyard, and there's another area here with more memorials. These look a little older. I can see 2 memorials from the war. H. Yendel, RMLI, HMS Powerful, 1917, age 52. And then just over the back here, I can see another one. We'll make our way across to it. And this is Private F.J. Westcott, Royal Army Veterinary Corps, 1917, age 21. Our family have put an inscription on the bottom here. Our life is as a flower which springeth up and is cut down, blessed be his name. And close by is another war memorial. This is Private RMLI W. Allen, HMS Dolphin, 1920, aged 28. And one here to Francis Diamond, 1921. And the symbol at the top is the anchor. Now, I've seen that before on people that were in the Navy. I think it was the Royal Navy. I may be wrong. But that's Francis Diamond, 1921. I see over the back there's a memorial stone to the Rowe family. Now, they won't all be buried in the same spot. These are normally only carry 2 people. But on the Rowe family you've got Edward, Dinah, Beatrice, Stephen, Wilfred and Nellie. Behind that is this very solid stone cross, and down underneath it's to Albert Bonus Priest, 1854-1936, and Mary Elizabeth Bonus. So priest was obviously his occupation. Well, this newer section is a very peaceful area. It's down a bit of a footpath to reach it. The old churchyard around the church itself was quite noisy with traffic going past, but here is very, very quiet. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that point. So till the next time.